So today I'm going to be talking about the recently released Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Now that's a mouthful. So we're going to go over some magical items, so stay tuned. I'm Johnny, by the way, this is JohnnyGMs, and I want to give you some tips and tricks, guides on how to play, and most of all some spicy ideas to add to those games of yours. So the first magic item on today's list is the Dragon Hide Belt. This item is unique in the sense that it's only attunable by monks. Yes, oh glorious day! The monk has finally gotten a magic item. Can you believe it? Well, I can't. So what the Dragon Hide Belt can do is, depending on its rarity, it's either a +1, a +2, or a +3 magic item. That's going to add to your DC, to your saving throws. That in itself is a fantastic feature, making the monks even more nimble and even better with their features, such as Stunning Strike. I mean, come on, everyone's going to use it for that reason. So the second feature on this belt, and in my opinion the best feature, allows you to roll a martial arts die as an action, and equal to the roll of the die you get back in key points. That is absolutely fantastic, and honestly a great way for a monk to recover key points. Let's just hope we get something like this as maybe a feature for a monk later down the line, to be able to recover key points in combat, perhaps, or maybe we'll get more magic items similar to this. Let's keep hoping. Can you believe that we only have 2 other bows in D&D, magical items that is? We have the Oath Bow in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and then the only other equivalent bow we have is an artifact, a short bow in fact, in the Mythic Odysseys of Theros over here, the Nylia Bow. It's kind of maddening actually. Our second magic item for today is the Dragon Wing Bow. So what this magic item does is infuse an elemental damage type into the bow, depending on the ancestry, which could be chromatic, metallic, or in Fizban's, gem. With gem, we have types like radiant damage, or necrotic, psychic. So we have some new options, included with fire of course, and poison or acid. So we have a great selection of options, and each of these deal an extra 1d6 of one of those chosen types. What I love about this bow is additionally, you don't need ammunition for the bow. It creates its own from that elemental type. So imagine a lightning arrow, or a fire arrow, or better yet, a radiant arrow. And when you hit an enemy, the arrow vanishes, as if it never existed in the first place. So our third magic item for today is the Golden Canary figurine of wondrous power. What a mouthful that was to say. My god. So let's talk about what this item can do. Like many other figurines that we have in D&D, it can turn into an animal, a giant canary. Here's the stat block as you can see. Taking its wonder. Poof, it's gone. Just like that. So what you do is, it has a command word, you can throw it 60 feet, and as long as you have the space, a giant canary is summoned in its place. And not only can it fight for you, but you can also mount it and use it as a steed. It's great for cavalier fighters, in fact. But the feature for this that is a standout, and this is why it makes it legendary, is if you speak the command word and you throw the item, as mentioned before with the golden canary, you summon an adult golden dragon. Yeah, you heard me right. That is insane. You can only use this very sparingly. I'm talking really sparingly. In fact, you can only use it once a year for this feature. Of course, you don't have your legendary actions or your lair actions, but that is absolutely phenomenal. So into our fourth item, the Platinum Scarf. This item is definitely a favorite of mine. It has 3 features, and the scarf has 3 scales to which you can remove a day, and they recharge at dawn. These features include the Breath of Life. When you use one of the scales, you remove them of course, they disappear, but then you can imbue an ally or yourself with 10d4 hit points. The next scale that you can take is the Platinum Shield. It's no action required, and when you do so, you get a +1 bonus to your AC. Absolutely incredible. And on top of that, you have immunity to radiant damage. And then finally, we have the Radiant Hammer. This is part of the same thing. That is one thing I will say about Fizbans, is it gives you a variety of magical weapons that aren't just a sword. Of course we get a sword though, because why wouldn't we? You know, we already have like 40 plus swords, might as well add one more to the pile, right? But at least we have a bit more variety, which is fantastic. There are lances in this book, flails, bows of course, as you've seen before, and there's even a magic item that I was not expecting, but we'll talk about that later. So the final feature for the Platinum Scarf is the Radiant Hammer, our glorious magical item. I mean, this isn't it, but you know what I mean. You get the idea. This hammer gives you 2d4 radiant damage in replacement of the normal bludgeoning damage that this hammer usually does. And additionally, when you fight chromatic dragons, it deals an extra 2d4 radiant damage. So we're going to go over our 5th magic item, but we're not going to go into it for too long, as this item is very self-explanatory and very simplistic. So, for an hour, when you drink this potion, a legendary potion, mind you, you transform into an adult dragon. Yeah. It's that simple. But of course, no lair actions, no legendary actions, similar to the Golden Canary. The dragon type depends on the scale placed into the potion, from what my understanding is. So depending on what you want to play, like a red dragon, you need a red scale, or perhaps a silver dragon, so you get a silver scale. So that can be pretty useful. Or a gem dragon, you can get kind of like a topaz colored scale, so that'd be kind of interesting. And this is the Sapphire Buckler. And this item would be fantastic in a setting like Eberron. Yes, I've mentioned Eberron in every video so far, I think. I'm pretty sure I have. Maybe not the first one, but that's besides the point. This would be great in your Eberron campaign, as it resists psychic damage and thunder damage. And as a reaction, as long as an enemy is within 5 feet of you and tries to make an attack against you, you can use your reaction to deal 2d6 thunder damage back at them. Really, really useful. This item additionally has an incredible feature to track down aberrations within 1 mile of you. So finally, our last magic item for today, the Topaz Annihilator. Can you imagine what this weapon is? It's a firearm. Yeah, a firearm in D&D. We're getting a magical firearm. So let me go over what this magic item can do. This firearm deals 2d6 necrotic damage, and if an enemy drops to 0 hit points, they turn to dust. Only a true resurrection or wish spell can bring them back. And to top that all off, you can also cast Disintegrate with a DC 18 saving throw. Wow. Just wow. What an absolutely incredible musket. It has 100 feet range and 300 feet at long ranges. So hopefully we'll get to see more of those types of weapons, more of those types of magic items in the future. I'm glad we got a lot more variation this time around with our magic items. It's great to see something other than a sword for a change. Still D&D and swords are cool. And I like swords. I think everyone likes swords. Swords are cool. So there is a unique addition to Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, something called the Magic Horde table. It's an entirely different mechanic, and I do want to go over it, but I'll do it in a follow-up instead of this video. But definitely look out for that. I hope you liked these magic items, because I love them, and I can't wait to give them to my players. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and if you could give me a like, I'd really appreciate it, and if you could comment down below what your favorite magic item is, that would be awesome. This is JohnnyGMs. Talk to you later.